Okay, so my name is Rocco Rap. I'm going to be doing my presentation on Twitch, and I'm sorry that this is extremely unorthodox because I'm currently having a lot of issues with trying to film this. But so right now I'm going to have my PowerPoint on my iPad, and I'm going to be presenting it through a video on my phone. Please, that'll just be okay. Okay, so the thing that I chose was Twitch for my social media platform. Um, and let's just get into that for like the branding and stuff. Okay, so my best practices for brands in terms of like if I had to like narrow it down to 5. First thing, ads on Twitch. So there's like specific ads that play before and typically at the end of content, and those are like 30 seconds to a minute long. You want to make sure that you keep those like relatively short because since Twitch is kind of like people are watching people live, it's very easy for them to get uninterested quickly by having to sit through a long ad. So it's better to keep them short. Second thing is you want to keep it targeted to the audience because you don't just want to be sending like, I don't know, makeup ads to like a gamer heavy group that's not using makeup. So you want to make sure that you're sending the right ads to the right people. Okay, second thing, sponsorships. These are slightly different on Twitch because basically it's having a brand go and sponsor a streamer by telling them to endorse the product or just giving them money to have their name like somewhere in the video. And these are kind of like you want to be careful with these. And like I can get into this with the second point, which is like background checks, because you want to make sure like you're having somebody basically represent your brand. So you want to make sure that that person, you've done your intensive research to make sure that they are not going to go and mess up your brand. They're not going to say some out of pocket things. They're not going to be extremely controversial. Brands do not like controversy because that makes them look bad if that person's looking bad. Also, another thing to note, content is live, which does make things slightly different. I mean, you're going to have like people who are going to be watching you and you're not going to have time to edit or take anything down. So this plays into the other point where you want to make sure that this person is, serious enough to represent your brand and that they're not going to go AWOL and start, making you look bad because then people are going to be like, well, why did you trust them? And then you're going to get shaded, and how to be active. Okay, also last thing I'll say, you have to keep in mind that Twitch should not be the only thing you're trying to advertise on. Like you really do need to be using other platforms. It's like icing on the cake is kind of what it is like. You're tapping into maybe a more niche market that you could not get on other things. But you still do need to be using other softwares, not applications to, get your brand out there. Okay. Next thing, demographics. 73% of Twitch users are under 34 years old. Also, 41% of them are age 16 to 24. So predominantly younger generation. And then 65% of those users are men. So if we look, that a lot of the people are typically, not super old. They're typically 30s and under, and they're mostly men. So you want to keep that in mind in terms of what you're marketing. I mean, it is increasing with women who are on Twitch, but it still is predominantly male centered as terms of like what the content is being provided for. Okay, then these are my fun facts. So 70% of Twitch users donate and support their creator. I think that this is very important because it goes to show that if 70% of them are paying to give somebody money because they trust them, who would you get? You wouldn't give money to somebody you did not trust. I feel like that's kind of like not a crazy thing to say. So these people are trusting these streamers even though they don't know them on an actual person-to-person basis. Therefore, this could be good. You could play into this with your brand because if they're supporting them, then they'll support the creator also through purchasing your product. Like that's kind of how it works. So like you go hand in hand. It's a partnership deal. Twitch takes up 70%, 73% of the market share for live stream gaming. That's just an insane statistic. Like they are the gaming platform, so you need to kind of know that it is a predominantly gamer based demographic. COVID was a huge part in the booming point of Twitch. I mean, this is just because people were stuck in their houses and they felt isolated, and having a live like chat with somebody is much more immersive than just posting on a TikTok comment section. You're still it's more community. Has on average 15 million daily active users. Is just like a high number. Just chatting is the most popular category on Twitch. Just chatting meaning like people are just talking. Like it's not gaming centered. It's just like, okay, like let's just have a conversation. It's live, about anything. They could be doing anything really. And most followed Twitch channel is Ninja, as of right now. And then just for branding effectively examples, I mean, this technically is Ninja. I'm sorry that like this PowerPoint's not as good as the other ones. The one that I deleted, but I had to make this quick. But speaking of Ninja, he basically had like a deal with Uber Eats, where I think they had promo codes. I think it was in 2018. They had promo codes that were, you could get through the stream, and then it would give you discounts on Uber Eats. Literally, it was supposed to go on for a week. It only lasted a day before the promo codes were already ran out because that many people were using them. So if that's not speaking of him branding effectively, like, I mean, they literally could not give out more promo codes as they reached the max. Okay, it's already reaching 7 minutes. I'm so sorry. I'm really, really trying. I still want to Zoom with you if that is possible. And please accept this as my assignment because I'm really, like, I've been through it this week, please. But thank you.